Malaysia, right? So I choose UTM. Yeah, that's what
Okay.
my reason, doctor.
That's the long story, eh? Okay, anyone want to share why you choose UTM?
Choose UTM, doctor,
Why?
because I think the ranking for engineering in UTM is good
Eh,
in the
what?
world too. What?
Which number? What number?
For chemical engineering,
Yeah.
it's top 50 or top 50, I think, or top
Okay.
100. I forgot.
Top
So,
100 on
in the world
in the world for engineering courses.
for chemical engineering.
Oh, chemical engineering.
Yeah. And then another else because the environment of UTM is cozy for study. Yeah, like that, doctor. And big, wide, wide campus, big area, and so green. That's make the my good for study.
Strategic
Uh,
place. Okay. UTM is not wide, vast. Vast area. It's wider than other university in Malaysia, because like they are located what you call in the middle of city, Kuala Lumpur. So it's quite limited the area. But in UTM, it's so big, it's so wide. We can go and sometimes get lost, because we don't know how to how to turn back, or get back to the main gate. Okay. Anybody else want to explain why you choose ATM? Like from Middle East. Middle East, I think, and they have maybe different reason from the ones from Indonesia. No, like Tariq, Patricia, Diana, the Vicness. Ah, I remember we also have Malaysian student in here, from Malaysia. Can you share why you choose UTM? Anissa Fauzi, Amalia, Almira. So I think that's the Malaysian name. So maybe they can share why they choose UTM. So get back to our topics. Okay, the last one about the philosophy of UTM. So like what your friend has shared about UTM, why they choose to enter UTM. Okay, it's because the philosophy of UTM. Yeah, you can check the ranking and so on about UTM, and it's all happened because of the philosophy set up by the earlier generation uh, who set up UTM. Okay, like the philosophy of UTM, the first is about the science and technology. You can find here the divine law of Allah is the foundation for science and technology. So you can get here UTM is all about science and technology. Okay, UTM strives with total and unified effort to attain excellence in science and technology, for universal peace and prosperity in accordance with His will, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. So in this philosophy, we can find three main thing. The first one, about the foundation of science and technology is the divine law of Allah. So the first ranking is divine law of Allah, or law of Islam. So by the law of Islam, UTM strive to be an excellent organization in science and technology. And the last one, UTM will contribute back to the society for universal peace and prosperity. So that's the philosophy of UTM. So when you read the philosophy of UTM, you can see that UTM is an organization based on science and technology. So like chemical engineering and so on. So it will be suitable here. You find the right place. But I'm sorry, but from the perspective of maybe with Islamic background, I give you an example. Okay, maybe for the Islamic background, they cannot grow their expertise here. They cannot grow their expertise here because UTM is all about science and technology. Unless you're willing to blend your Islamic focus or Islamic field with technology or science, so you can be successful. But it also has pro and con. Okay, when we work or we will study in UTM, so we must follow the pillar of UTM, the science and technology. So maybe the ones who learn the hadith or Quran, okay, and they cannot grow white here, but if they're willing to blend the expertise of Quran and hadith with technology, so they can be accepted here. It's like you introduce a new subject like hadith techno, or Quran techno. So that will match the university pillar, and that can be implement or be teach in UTM. That's the pro and con in UTM. But if you are really a student in the field of science and technology, and then you want to pursue your further education in science and technology, so UTM is the right place. So that's important to choose the organization based on your interest, based on your field of interest. So you have to pick the right organization. Okay. Beside beside science and technology, UTM also known for the excellence in social science. So the social science of education, faculty of education, faculty of social science and humanities, okay, and the school of education in UTM, also among the top 50, I think, the school of education in UTM. So UTM also has some strength in social science and humanities, as well as the space. If you if you ever heard about space, the long uh, op, open apa open distance learning, space. Okay, that's among the the best long distance learning, in Malaysia for education. So that's some pro and cons in UTM. If you want to pursue your study in Scientology, that's the best place. Then you can choose uh, faculty of school of education. That's also among the best school and space. If you a teacher who want to do uh, open distance learning, so you can choose space, space center. Okay, you can choose space center at the library of UTM. Okay, the building is opposite the library of UTM, so you can register here and to enroll in the open distance learning. Okay, that's UTM. That's UTM. Okay, and the vision of UTM is to be recognized as the world center of academics and technological excellence. Okay, and the mission to be a leader in development of human capital and innovative technologies. So when in first glance, we can see that UTM vision or mission is based on technologies. Technologies. Okay, we all can see that in UTM, almost all lecturers have TS, TS in before their name, before their name. Prof, technologies, doctor. Okay, Prof, doctor, technologies. That's that's what we can identify from there. Almost everyone has the nickname of TS, or the degree of TS in before their name. Technologies. Okay. Okay, then that's the a few book that you can refer based on the philosophy or the concept of philosophy, the philosophy in education and so on. Okay, that's all from me. From the lecture. But before we end, I have one question for you. Okay, based on the philosophy of UTM. Okay, based on the philosophy of UTM, how can you implement this philosophy to your life as student student of UTM lah. Okay, right.
Maybe we intended that our learning and teaching process just because of Allah as the foundation in UTM.
Okay, dia apa, kerana Tuhan untuk manusia kan. Dia punya
Yes,
dia punya motto. Okay, someone else? How do you implement the philosophy of UTM in your life as a student of UTM? Maybe Andy or Ramadan? How do you implement? The question is quite popular. It's been and the last sem is the question for the term mid semester test. Mid semester test. Okay. How do you implement the philosophy of UTM in your daily life?
Sorry, doctor. Your I think my connection is really bad, so the voice of you cannot hear clearly, doctor. Maybe can you repeat, doctor?
Okay, someone can repeat my question to him.
The question is how the implementation on your daily life from UTM philosophy. You can
Oh,
answer, Andy.
yes, yes. Because UTM philosophy is really good in maintain our connection between our world and our uh, akhirat. So yeah, besides we go to school, like we study for our world, we also study for our next life. Yeah, and that's really good for achieving what we want to get. Yeah, like that, doctor.
Okay. Okay, yeah, wait, I see. Okay, so I found the last semester question about the philosophy of UTM.
Doctor, can I try to answer?
Okay, you can try.
Okay, right. So based on the logo of UTM, I just know that the UTM are signed the what yeah the U like the above the above sign it's about lingkaran ilmu and at the upside it's about Al-Quran, right? So I just really what yeah, I just really amazed that there's a university that really based on Al Quran and Hadith about that synchronized about the technology because nowadays people are trying to spare one of them between religion and also the technology. But in UTM they try to they try to correlate it. So I just feel amazed that I choose UTM because they still have Islamic fundamental in it. So we at least we still believe that religion and technology is a same thing that could be having a correlation. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have you take the course UHIT this semester or the last
I don't
semester?
know.
UHIT, philosophy of science and technology.
Not yet, I think. Not yet. This is the first philosophy class that I
Okay.
attend.
Okay. We have the other courses. I mean, uh, pemikiran. Okay. Science and technology. Science and technology thinking. So in that class, you will be you will able to see the development of science and technology from the classic one, okay, the pre-classic, and then the Hellenistic, then the Enlightenment era, Renaissance era, Islamic era, the Western era until the IR for 1.0 until 4.0. Okay, you can relate from the classic era until IR era. So you will know the development of science and technology until today, until 4.0 IR. Okay, from the civilization of Mesopotamia, the Egypt, Pharaoh, and so on. From that, the Babylon. From that until IR 4.0. That's the that's some of the topics in the subject science and technology thinking, or what we call UHIT or UICL. The code of the subject is UICL or UHIT.
Doctor, can I ask you something that, yeah, I don't know, this is my what I thinking. I just want you to have perception on why our era is very different with the Islamic era, the Babylonia era, the Egypt era. Why we have like they they have strong belief to study, they have strong belief to invent anything, but in our era most of all are like being lazy or just have no innovation. Is it because we all already perceive all the technology and make life easier, or what, doctor? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. What we call in Arabic al-banna'ah, the our hadifah, what we call the strict question, or the precise question. Okay, thank you for that question. Okay, why we won't be able to become great, great as like the earlier one. Okay, why? Yeah, first one, we must refer back, okay, to the era of glory, where we call about the glory of Islam civilization. Okay, see, so we can see that's Islam civilization is must basis on the Quran and Hadith. When we cannot emphasize on the implementation of Sharia law, or uh, uh, the the teaching of Quran, the teaching Hadith, when we neglect or when we put aside that's a foundation, so we cannot able to become a leader in the world. Okay? The history have proven that the greatest Muslim is when they put Quran and Hadith as their guideline. So for today, we are the end users. We are the end users in term of science and technology. Just to just take as example the vaccine, COVID-19 vaccine. The Islamic world, although we are rich, okay, like the Arab, they are very very rich, but they cannot they cannot even make one type of vaccine. So that Malaysia cannot, Indonesia we cannot do just one vaccine to to be dispersed to the Arab world, but we cannot even make one type one vaccine for
Yes, doctor. I
okay.
agree. Like we have since we know that actually the oldest one are using like Al-Quran as the way
Okay.
to the intention, as the way the science do, right? But actually in Indonesia and in Malaysia we also study about that. We also study about Al-Quran, Hadith, and what we are now, like it's all being taken with the people from Western that don't even know Islam is one, and once they hate Islam, they're really far from the Islam things, but it's just like so comfort. Vicky, diam dulu. Sorry, my brother. But it's so contra to what we did in our glory years. Like I could me as Muslim, I couldn't even like believe that we have that glorious year, because when we see now, like our like the things that yeah, the glory days are really into hadith, into Quran, but why we are now study about it, but there's nothing that correlate to something that glorious, even and it was being taken with the Western one, with the Japanese one, that even don't know about that's things that I really in my mind, why we could be like that, like why. So it's hard to believe that sometimes um like we have a glorious year for Islam. I don't know, like me as a Muslim, it's like, yeah, you know, you have to be proud, but I don't see any real result here. So yeah. I don't know why I thinking about this, but I think that this is interesting to be talked about.
Okay, first of all, thanks for the comment. Okay, what I can answer is, or what I can add to your response is about history will become history. Okay, that's the history of Islam. So we can see Islam is once uh, take over of this world. One third of this world is under Islam, under the Islamic rule. Okay, and history will be repeated. Okay, history will circle all again from the beginning, the climax, and it will it will be down again. That's all the nature, or what we call sunnatullah. It will begin and have it glorious, and then taken over or taken over by others, by other civilization. That's what happened to Islam. Okay, what happened to the Egypt civilization, for Fir'aun and so on. That's the sunnatullah, what we call the circulation, the rolling of each civilization. Okay, and
I
then
see, doctor.
the last one is about the what we call the, even though we are learning the Quran and Hadith, but the main thing is the implementation. The main thing is implementation. Although okay, like me, teaching or learning about Quran and Hadith, but we cannot find a way to implement it unless we get a really effective government. So it's really focused on implementing the Quran and Hadith. Okay, I don't say to implement all the teaching of Quran and Hadith, but maybe half for the beginning, it's also seem impossible until today. Although we all know mission as an icon for Islamic civilization, but that's all. That's that's all I can say about Malaysia. Okay. In some way it's good, but in some way it's still reluctant to implement the maybe 50% of Islamic civilization, Islamic teaching. Okay, and then about the what we can do now is we as a new generation, or you as a new generation, has to become a leader. Has to become a leader. Okay, study well, study hard, okay, and focus in your field. Be an expert in your field and beat all the other expert, from west, or the western expert. So when you become the leader, or the well-known expert in your field, so everyone will refer to you, and you can give your opinion, or you can make an innovation that can change the world to become a better place. So that's all uh, depend on the new generation. Okay, that's all that I can think of from this evening. Okay, quite slow because we all kind of adjusting to the first 1 or 2 days of fasting. Okay, after this we become more aggressive. Okay, bye. Okay, I think any more response?
So far okay, Doctor.
Okay, thank you for the response for today. Okay, uh, if there are not anything else, so I think we can end this session here. Okay, we meet next week on chapter 3, the methods
Doctor,
of thinking.
excuse me.
Okay,
Doctor, when is our midterm exam?
midterm exam. The coordinator not yet given any dates or time, so we just wait from the coordinator for this course. No
Okay,
worry,
Doctor, thank you.
no worry. You already formed a group or what? Not
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Doctor.
okay. If you already in a group, send the list of group for me. Then I will give you the final assignment for grouping. Okay. Because in UHIS we have poster presentation, and then the proposal board, and last one video presentation. That's Send me the list in WhatsApp group, and I will choose the topic for each group, and then you can start to make the final assignment for this course. Okay, clear, Ashwini?
Yes, Doctor, thank you.
Okay, Faisal, I don't have any group yet. Okay, so Hamzat also don't have any group. So for those who don't have any group, okay, that's why I ask to list down each group Each group has list down the list group from 1 until maybe I think until 5 or 6. List down the seed group and the members also, and those who don't have any group, so they can put their name in the in what group they want. Okay. Okay, only two, Faisal and Amzad, don't have a group. So after this, you can put your name in maybe the insufficient group members, so you can add like that. Okay, the last one, who are still not enrolled in e-learning, who are still cannot access the e-learning of section 27. Okay, if you cannot access the e-learning, okay, section 27, please inform me. You give to me your ID metric card. Okay, give to me your number of metric card and your name, so I will enroll you into the e-learning. Okay, Tariq Chaguri. After this, we will list down all the member from for each group, and then you can include your name in that group, in any group that has not enough members. Okay, maybe I can see the WhatsApp group. WhatsApp. Rahmat. Rahmat.
Yes, doctor.
Okay. Can you list down all the group?
Alright, doctor.
Boleh kamu listkan group 1 sampai group 6, siapa ahli dia semua tu.
Okay,
Dah
doctor.
buat kan?
Udah buat.
Okay. List nanti. Okay. Can you
Okay,
list?
doctor.
You list it down. You list it down, and then the group that has not enough members will add Tariq, Faisal, and Amzad. Amzad to the group that have not enough members. Okay. Thank you, Rahmat.
You're welcome, doctor.
Okay, if we don't have anything else or any question, so we can end our session here. Okay. So we close our class or session with tasbih kafarah dan surah Al-Asr. Okay, we meet again. We will meet again next week. Yes, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ramadan al-Mubarak.
Salam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you,
Thank you,
doctor.
doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you,
Thank you.
doctor.
Ma'assalamah.